morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Don't forget, today is early release day. And teachers, today's the day we get to have our holiday party. Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. Today we're going to listen to the last chapter of Lulu and the Brontosaurus. And the author actually comes up with 3 different endings. I hope all 3 endings are perfect, and I wonder which ending you like the best. But before we do that, this is the last time I get to do this, and I hope you guys will remember this. I hope that you will remember what year you're going to start college or your career, because this is so important. Because one day, pretty soon, you're going to launch. You're going to do something extraordinary. I may not be here at JPS, but I'm going to be maybe reading the news or watching the news, and I'm going to hear a name, and I'm going to be like, I know that person. They went to JPS, and now they're an astronaut, or now they're a great author, or they just opened up a restaurant, or they're a teacher, or they just owned this wonderful business, or wow, they're a mother, and they have all of these wonderful children. Or maybe they're in the military. I don't know. I'm going to read about all of you. I'm going to hear about all of you. And I'm going to be so proud. And I'm going to know that you were Ospreys. So let's remember what year you start college or your career. Let's go. Let's do this. Kindergarten, what year will you start college or your career? 2034. First grade, what year will you start college or your career? 2033. I got a lot of second grade. I think they're going to be real loud. And second grade, what year will you start college or your career? 2032.
Okay. Good morning, JPS students and teachers. I have the proud opportunity to read Chapter 13, the end of our book. Here we go. Chapter 13. It wasn't too much later that Lulu could see that she was nearly out of the forest. She was happy that soon she would be home with her mom and dad. But along with feeling happy, she was also feeling sad when she thought of the Brontosaurus she left behind. As a matter of fact, she pictured the poor, lonely dinosaur so clearly in her mind that it almost seemed he was standing there just outside of the forest waiting for her. And he was. Was Lulu shocked? You bet. What? She asked. Are you doing here, Mr. B? I found a shortcut, the Brontosaurus replied. Lulu smiled a soft, sweet smile. Then she shook her head and sighed. And then she said, even though I'm the person writing this story, I truly don't know why she's saying it in rhyme. Please try to understand, Mr. B, that I cannot be your pet, even though you're the nicest Brontosaurus I ever met. And if you take me away with you, I'll keep on running back home every chance I get. Not a bad rhyme, though. The last line's a little lumpy. I already figured out while I was waiting for you, the Brontosaurus told Lulu. I don't understand that you can't be my pet, but please understand that I can't be your pet either. Well, Lulu understood, and the Brontosaurus understood. It seemed there was only one thing left to do. So they stood there quietly, looking at each other for a moment, and then they did it. The Brontosaurus bent his long neck till his face was close to Lulu's. He kissed her gently on the cheek and said, "Happy birthday, little pet, and goodbye." Lulu put her arms around the Brontosaurus' neck. She kissed him gently on his nose and said, "Don't be too lonely, Mr. B, and goodbye." Then she slowly walked down the road that would take her home. Then he slowly walked down the road that would take him home. And although Lulu and the Brontosaurus remembered each other forever, they never, ever saw each other again. So that was our first ending. We have another one. Are you ready? Wait, I'm really not all that sure about this ending. It may be a little too mushy, a little too sad, but since I'm the person writing this story, I'm writing another ending, and you can decide which one you'd rather have. Well, Lulu understood, and the Brontosaurus understood that neither of them could be the other's pet. But why should that mean that they had to say goodbye? Come with me, and I'll give you a piece of my birthday cake, said Lulu. Oh, I like that, the dinosaur said. May I give you a ride? And Lulu arrived at her house, riding happily on the back of the Brontosaurus, when her mother and her dad heard the noise of a clomping dinosaur in their yard. They remembered Lulu, and they remembered her birthday cake. Whew, lucky for all, her cake had already been made. Don't worry, he isn't my pet, Lulu said. He's only going to stay here for a piece of cake and a glass of lemonade. But he's kind of a lonely guy, and I would like to invite him back for Thanksgiving dinner. From that time on, the Brontosaurus came to Lulu's house for her birthday, Thanksgiving, the 4th of July, and sometimes she visited his house, though since she didn't like eating leaves, she already brought a suitcase of pickle sandwiches. On one very special birthday, she not only invited her friend the Brontosaurus, but also the snake and the tiger and the bear. And the Brontosaurus noticed that whenever Lulu asked anyone for anything, she always said please. Well, if you didn't like that ending, we have one more. I'm still not totally satisfied. I'm going to try once more because I think I need to answer some certain questions. Like, where's Lulu's mom and dad? Were they worried when she didn't come back that night? Had they bought her a present for her birthday? Did she completely stop being a pain and turn into polite? And how did that stuff fit into her suitcase? I'm going to answer these questions, and when I'm done, you will have your choice of 3 different endings. Well, Lulu understood, and the Brontosaurus understood, that though they couldn't be pets, they could be friends. So Lulu invited the Brontosaurus back to her house for some birthday cake and introduced him to her mom and her dad. They hadn't been waiting and worrying and wondering where she was because they'd fallen asleep sipping tea. And they didn't open their eyes till the Brontosaurus, with Lulu riding on his back, came clomp, clomp, clomping into their front yard. They gave her a silver necklace for her birthday, and she sang them a whole new Brontosaurus song. I didn't get a Brontosaurus for a pet. I didn't get a Brontosaurus for a pet. It sure looks like you brought one home, Lulu's mom said to Lulu. And we still say no. You can't have one, said her dad. And both of them waited for Lulu to screech and throw herself down on the floor and kick her heels and wave her arms in the air. Except she didn't. What happened to the screeching? Asked her quite astonished mom. And her dad asked, what about throwing yourself on the floor? Lulu replied, very dignified, I am 1 year older today, and I'm not doing that kid stuff anymore. And she says, a very nice please, said the Brontosaurus. After the cake and the lemonade, the dinosaurs said goodbye, but would return for many holiday visits. Sometimes the snake and the tiger and the bear came too. Although she kept getting older, Lulu never turned into perfect. She still, though less and less often, sometimes screeched and forgot about please. Though she never again in her life said, "Foo on you."
Please dismiss wave 2.
But she
Wave
mainly
2.
wasn't a pain,
Thank you.
and the Brontosaurus was mainly not lonely anymore. As for how all the stuff fit into her Lulu's suitcase, I'm sorry to say that I didn't have a clue. I am, after all, just the person who's writing the story. Now that we've finished, if you didn't like any of the endings for Lulu and the Brontosaurus, you could write one of your own. And if you'd like to write one, maybe we can read it on the morning news. Thank you.
GPS Kids Soar Higher. Super problem solvers, outstanding writers, accomplished readers, ready for success.
And now for our success equation.
Hard work plus resiliency plus teamwork equals success. What do you get when you cross a snowman and a vampire?
I don't know.
Frostbite.